So last week I made a video and I didn't post it. Matter of fact, I deleted it. But with the recent civil unrest, you know, I think I should go ahead and say what I want to say. The police have a bit of a PR problem. No one trusts them. It's starting to become a general consensus among some of the citizenry. Okay. No, there was an incident in Texas a couple of weeks ago for, you know, a minor traffic violation. The woman got on the phone. She's calling, you know, the police on the police. Of course, the situation in Baltimore, a couple of FTAs for traffic violations, but that woman clearly didn't trust the police. And can you blame them? I mean, Chicago, the camera doesn't work. Can you blame them? You know, now this incident in Wisconsin, you know, and no one's saying that. I'm not even addressing whether the guy was a good guy or a bad guy, who was a complete asshole. You know, I don't know. But the perception is that the police are untrustworthy, that they have a willingness to shoot black people. But now, you know, you know, the police also have a problem with taking responsibility for their actions. There's always an investigation, and I'm trying to figure out why there's an investigation. The recent incident in Florida where during a training exercise, an elderly woman got shot and died, and the police want to say it was an accident. There are no accidents. It's negligence. It was that officer's responsibility to make sure that that gun was safe and can be used in that training exercise, and they didn't. Do I think he intended to shoot her? No, he didn't intend it. I don't believe that was intent. I thought it was simple manslaughter. Someone said, well, they thought it rose to the level of criminal negligence, and that second-degree murder, or whatever Florida's equivalent to it would be appropriate. But of course, there's an investigation because one of their tribe is involved, and you know the city wants to pay out less money. Who in the fuck would trust the law enforcement? Who in the fuck would trust law enforcement? Who in the fuck would trust law enforcement and believe what they say? I don't know anybody. So they got a PR problem. No one trusts them. You can't be in the truthful and honesty business and not be truthful and honest. You can't be in the business of holding people accountable for your actions, and then, you know, every time you do something, you're trying to abscond. I don't know if abscond is the right word. You're trying to avoid your liability. You know, to me, you know, the cities would admit liability and throw an officer under the bus quickly, but it's about the money. You know, the payout will be larger. So we got to figure out what the fuck we can do, so we don't have to pay out, you know, more money than what we're going to have to pay out. That's just my personal take on it. Protesting. Power to the people. Black Lives Matter. Oh, you know, I saw a video where it's someone, you know, they were holding a protest, and some guy tried to I guess stop a car, and I mean, he literally got ran over. I mean, like, he went flying, and then there were shots fired. So, you know, we're talking about perception. It may or may not be the truth that that person intended to run that person over. You know, that shoot in Chicago could be, you know, perfectly reasonable. This thing that happened in Wisconsin with this guy getting shot could be perfectly reasonable within policy. But the perception is the police are a bunch of assholes, and they're trying to kill people, or they're willing to kill people quickly, and then the system is not holding them accountable. They're getting to walk away. And you cannot change what you tolerate, and people are beginning not to tolerate it. You got a PR problem. There's a whole bunch of other underlying problems. But we're just dealing with how you go about, I don't want to say administering justice. I don't like that. How you go about enforcing the law. Give you an example. You know, one of my friends just recently told me, take about 10 seconds. He says in the city of Buffalo, and I was just there this weekend, you know, if your tail light go out, the Buffalo police will roll up on beside you and say, hey, your tail light's out. You need to get that fixed. I don't want to see that next week. And they'll roll off. But he says if you go out into the suburbs, oh no, they're pulling you over, they're giving you a ticket. And he said while he was trying, like he brought a bulb, and while he was trying to leave the city, he got pulled over again. You know, so, you know, they're bothering people over minor shit. And his perception was, what, there's no white people out here that have blown out tail lights. They're so aggressively enforcing blown out tail lights, and then someone said, oh yeah, my friend got pulled over once and got a ticket because his license plate light was out. So they're using that as a probable cause to stop. Really? You know, you know how police go about their job in Baltimore City, the Justice Report. What about Ferguson, the Justice Report? Who in the fuck would trust the police? Who in the fuck would believe what they say? Who would believe that the system would treat them justly? After all this shit, it's the perception of law enforcement, period. I'm not picking on any one department, any one officer. I'm saying law enforcement all across the fucking board. Right? And stop focusing and concentrating on the profanity. You're thinking about the micro, and you're not thinking about the macro, what I'm saying overall. So no one trusts the police. So now you got protests in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. And I got a friend who said, listen, there need to be some reputable people out there protesting with them, like a Cornell West or a Michael Eric Dyson or a Travis Smiley, you know, to help bring some, I guess, what he felt, a little more legitimacy and a little more order. But I'm still looking for that 60s unrest, and I think I'm starting to get it. And, you know, I think my friend is right, that it needs more and more legitimacy. But nothing changes. You know, Martin Luther King wouldn't have won without Malcolm X standing in the background. I've said this before. So, protest. Now, the last thing that I'm going to say here is, you know, I posted up on Darren Long's GRSE Facebook page, because my channel's got a Facebook page, Darren Long's GRSE. It said some conservative activists, you know, urging other people to attack Black Lives Matter. Now, I read about 1 or 2 sentences and about, you know, 10, 15 seconds of the video, and I just stopped it, you know, because to be honest with you, I don't even want to hear that shit, right? I don't give a fuck about their reasoning, none of it. The only thing I'm concentrating on, they got a couple t-shirts that says fuck Black Lives Matter. Okay. But the most disturbing thing is he's got Black Lives Matter on the 226 round, right? BLM. Now, to me, that's a terroristic threat, right? And it seems to me like you're looking for a shooting war. My response to that is okay. Okay. Because what I see Black Lives Matter is a constituency of people protesting against the government to change policy, to make things even, or to get certain things to stop, to get, you know, the police not as willing to shoot people, to be more transparent, to be more honest, and to be held accountable for their actions. And that's between that constituency and the government. But now you want to inject yourself into that on the side of law enforcement because you believe these people are wrong. Okay. I don't think you should do that. I think you should let those people protest it. If you want to protest the protesters, feel free. But like I say now, you know, the police, you know, good faith mistakes stop when shots are fired and someone gets hit and someone gets killed. You don't get good faith on that. That's the police. I'm telling the police you don't get a good faith mistake. Color of law can't protect you from that, right? I think that's some bullshit. But for the other people, just because you're on the side of law enforcement, don't mean what you're doing is cool. So, I take it as a terroristic threat. I think law enforcement should take that as a terroristic threat, and they should go ahead, and act accordingly. Because if a bunch of black people say put killer white people on the bullets and had them up on the screen, I'm thinking sooner or later somebody go come knocking on that person's door, saying that they were making a terroristic threat. So I don't like to make threats, and I don't make threats. Well, I've made threats. Go get your guns and we can get these guns to clapping and see what's happening. So I've actually said that. So, but I'm not going to make any threats. I mean, like I said, it seems to me like you want a shooting war. And my response to that is okay. And there's nothing left for me to say. It's just to do. And I'm waiting on you. If a shooting war is what you want, okay.